Waheguru Khalsa, Waheguru Fateh. My name is Gurumustuk Singh, and today I will be responding to a message published on SikhNet recently by SikhNet's director and founder, Gurumustuk Singh. Dear Gurumustuk Singh Ji, in reading your recent article, you make some points that need to be answered. You say, and I quote Gurumustuk Singh, "Detractors will try to tell me how yoga is against Sikhi without even understanding what I practice and the practical benefits of it to a householder." In my response here, I say, there is nothing to understand. The Tantric yoga that Yogi Bhajan taught and you continue to practice is against Sikhi, always was and always will be. Read the SRM, the Sikh Rahat Maryada, the Rahatnamas of Bhai Daya Singh Ji and Bhai Nan Lal Ji, that a Khalsa should not practice any Tantric yoga, asanas, yantras, mantras, and tantras. Sikhs may hold differing opinions on physical yoga asanas, such as some of the Kundalini yoga that you practice. Some believe it is totally against Sikhi. Others believe it is fine as long as it is only regarded as an exercise for fitness. But they all agree on this: Tantric yoga asanas and the tantras and mantras of Yogi Bhajan are not a part of Sikhi. Dr. Trilochan Singh outlined this quite clearly in a book after spending months with Yogi Bhajan in the late 1970s. I'm sure by now you've at least heard of this book, Sikhism and Tantric Yoga, which I encourage you to read if for no other reason to try and understand how most of the Sikh world views Yogi Bhajan, 3HO, and the un-Sikh-like practices Yogi Bhajan taught you, and you so stubbornly are attached to. Here's a link where you can download the book for free as a PDF, and I've attached this link to the description in this video. Then you Gurumustuk say, then there are some people who have so much anger or hate inside themselves that they have made it their mission to slander, spread false and misleading information, making every attempt to put down Siddhi Singh Sahib Harbhajan Singh Khalsa. That's the Bhajanist name for Yogi Bhajan, who took this false title of Siddhi Singh Sahib. So making every attempt to put down Yogi Bhajan and Sikhs from Western origin in a supposed attempt to save others from us as if they know the right way. That's the end quote from Gurumustuk Singh. Then I say, well, there's a great deal of judgment on your part here, Gurumustuk. Does it not occur to you that rather than hate, there are a lot of people who feel extremely concerned about the way that Yogi Bhajan's Sikh Dharma and 3HO are practicing a form of Sikhi that is not congruent with the SRM and is moving further away on a daily basis? Does it ever occur to you that these individuals feel the need to point this out? Can you not see that this attempt to set the record straight is not motivated by hate, but by a genuine concern for the future of Sikhi? I see this concern on Sikh discussion groups from all around the world. Many Sikhs are genuinely worried about the direction that 3HO, Sikh Dharma, are taking, as you can read on this forum. And I put a link to a Sikh forum there on this description of the video. Then I go on to say, furthermore, false and misleading information can easily be defeated with facts. I've yet to see you, Gurumustuk, SikhNet, or other Sikh Dharma members meet any of this so-called false and misleading information with facts. Your usual response is to either ignore the info, delete it from the forum if you have the power to do so, or to indulge in what is called an ad hominem attack, to attack the character of the messenger. This is what you are doing in your article when you say, there are some people who have so much anger or hate inside themselves. How do you know they are motivated by hate? How do you know that they are not genuinely concerned? Has SikhNet never responded to legitimate concerns by Sikhs that Yogi Bhajan was given Hindu last rites by his wife, Inderjeet Puri, and many 3HO people? Many 3HO members participated in this Hindu last rites in Rishikesh. And Anju Kaur from the Sikh Free Press so clearly revealed in her article that these facts about this Hindu last rites, she published this almost 4 years ago. Now, do you think Anju Kaur from the Sikh Free Press is engaging in a hate campaign, Gurumustuk? Now, about knowing the right way. As you know, Sikhi is a path of discipline, and there are rules. Of course, Sikhs are very independent people, and over the centuries, many different interpretations of the rules set by Guru Sahib sprang up. Thus, in the early part of the 20th century, a document was produced with the approval of the SGPC and the Panth, called the Sikh Maryada. It codified all the different rules and customs of Sikhi into a form that was approved by the SGPC and the Panth. Many respected Sikhs, saints, and scholars contributed to its creation. It is readily available in Punjabi and English. It may even be posted on SikhNet. It's really very simple, Gurumustuk. Either you follow the SRM or you don't. For example, the SRM specifically prohibits the veneration of any graves or monuments erected to honor the memory of a deceased person. Yet, we have seen the followers of Yogi Bhajan bowing to his memorial in Espanola. And you can see pictures of that here that I posted on this video, where they're bowing at his death place. They're at Yogi Bhajan's death place and giving veneration to Yogi Bhajan. They're also constructing this 10-foot high murti of Yogi Bhajan, which they'll be using for this murti puja as well. So even though Guru Gobind Singh Ji told us not to worship at the graves of the dead, and it's clearly in the SRM not to do this, yet we have seen the followers of Yogi Bhajan bowing to his memorial in Espanola, as was done in the elaborate 4-day celebration 3H on Sikh Dharma hosted at Yogi Bhajan's ranch in October of 2014. Now, the SRM also prohibits the performance of home, the Hindu ritual lighting of ritual fire and pouring intermittently clarified butter, food, grains, etc. into it for propitiating gods for the fulfillment of a purpose. There's ample evidence on the internet of Yogi Bhajan's longtime students who call themselves Sikhs and use Singh, Kaur, and Khalsa in their names, not only participating in this ritual, but organizing and publicizing it. This is simply not allowed by the SRM. To do these things flaunts the very intent of the SRM and offends the sensibilities of devout Sikhs. And I might also mention here that I have it on good source. These pictures here you're seeing right here. Yogi Bhajan's wife, this Indrajit Puri, worships Hindu gods. She has these closets in her residence where she worships these Hindu gods. And you can see her here doing this Hindu Homa Fire Puja there with Yogi Bhajan and this Swami there in Rishikesh. So this needs to stop as well. And I don't think that Gurumustuk is aware of this, but he should be aware of it, that this Mrs. Puri participates in these Hindu pujas. So when it is brought to your attention about these Hindu pujas being practiced by Yogi Bhajan and by the Yogi Bhajan followers, by concerned individuals, your response is to say that this is an interfaith event. Well, no, Gurumustuk. It is a Hindu worship of their fire god, the Hindu fire gods. You, Gurumustuk, say, they spread false info saying, we regard Yogi Bhajan as our guru. Well, apart from the fact that Yogi Bhajan was heard to refer to himself as the guru on more than one occasion, let us take a frame of reference. And I want to mention that I heard Yogi Bhajan say this as well, that he was the guru. There are many reports by the Yogi Bhajan followers of him saying that he was the guru. So let us take a frame of reference, a report recently published from the recent Khalsa Council meetings by Guru Jokar Khalsa, Secretary General, Sikh Dharma International, Khalsa Council dated November 5th, 2014. Now, the Khalsa Council is supposed to be a representative body whose function is to guide the Bhajanist Panth. I say that because there is never anyone on this council who is not a Bhajanist, which makes the name Khalsa Council presumptuous, to say the least. Nevertheless, let us examine the report by way of noting the number of times certain words were used. Here are the numbers. Siddhi Singh Sahib or Yogi Bhajan was used 31 times. Guru Ram Das Ji was used 6 times. All other Guru Sabans, including SGGS, 0 times. Khalsa Council, 22 times. Khalsa other than Khalsa Council, 0. Panth, 1. Siddhi Singh Sahib's teaching, 6. Yoga, 6. Gurbani, 0. Simran, 0. And Seva, 0. So, the so-called Khalsa Council report does not actually mention the Khalsa. It does not mention Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, nor any of the other Guru Sabans, save Guru Ram Das Ji. It does not mention Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji, yet it managed to mention Yogi Bhajan 31 times. Yoga and Yogi Bhajan's teachings each have 6 mentions, but Gurbani, Simran, and Seva have none. They're not mentioned once in this Khalsa Council report. The report closes by saying, in closing the meetings, we did the Tritakam meditation together and members shared how the Siddhi Singh Sahib touched our lives. End quote from the Khalsa Council. Now, for all of those who are not familiar with this Tritakam meditation, is the one where the Bhajanists, the Yogi Bhajan followers, meditate by staring at Yogi Bhajan's photo, this Tantric photo that Yogi Bhajan gave them. So instead of finishing the meetings, this Khalsa Council meeting, with an Ardas and then the Hukam Nama of Guru Sahib Ji, the Khalsa Council finished with a meditation on Yogi Bhajan's picture. Appalling, beyond the pale. He may not be a guru to you, Yogi Bhajan, in name, but your actions show that you regard him as such. The true Khalsa of Guru Gobind Singh Ji would never, ever, ever engage in such un-Sikh-like practices. You Gurumustuk say, when I was a teenager and finding my way, I went through a phase of experimentation with drugs, alcohol, smoking, partying, etc. If my family, friends, and community cast me out during this time, then I would be a very different person than I am today. No one wants to cast you out, Gurumustuk. Neither you nor your fellow 3HO or ST companions. I don't understand what your point is here. Are you suggesting that you and the other Yogi Bhajan students are experimenting with your own version of Sikhi, and we should just tolerate you until you have run your course? Well, the experiment in Sikhi has been going on for 45 years, and it's time to get real, Gurumustuk. There are so many un-Sikh-like practices that in which you all participate that we regular Sikhs would be derelict in our duty if we did not at least attempt to guide you to live by true Sikh values, much as your family must have tried to show you that your adolescent ways were ultimately destructive. Now, Gurumustuk, if you really want to pursue this metaphor of Yogi Bhajan students being like adolescents misbehaving, then I would remind you that teenagers are notoriously unreceptive to advice, no matter how well-meaning. Perhaps that is why SikhNet deletes any posts that are in any way critical of Yogi Bhajan. And maybe this is why you're complaining in this message to Sikhs, how some people hate you, you say, or they criticize you, and you feel badgered by this. The fact is that Gurumustuk, we regularly Sikhs simply want you to change your ways, to align with Sikh Brahat Maryada, and drop these Yogi Bhajan inspired un-Sikh-like practices. Such things as Tantric yoga, astrology, the crazy mantras that Yogi Bhajan made up, like this Guru Yoga, the staring Yogi Bhajan's photo that I mentioned above. These Hindu pujas, the wearing of gemstones for power, energy, etc. All these things. Now I'll mention a few other things that come to mind here that regular Sikhs would like the Yogi Bhajan people to change. Guruka Singh, who's another director over there at SikhNet, keeps Yogi Bhajan's toenails and fingernails in his Gutka Sahib. This is an appalling practice which needs to stop. These keeping of these artifacts of Yogi Bhajans is something that is completely prohibited by the Sikh Brahat Maryada. The Yogi Bhajan people keep them for power. Guruka put these fingernails and a talisman and kept them in his Gutka Sahib and next to Gurbani. It's just really appalling and needs to stop, and it's against the Sikh Brahat Maryada. I also mentioned that Yogi Bhajan's wife is practicing these Hindu pujas and keeping these murtis and doing these murti pujas in closets and in residences. This needs to stop. The construction of a huge murti of Yogi Bhajan is ongoing now there at the Yogi Bhajan Dera, where Yogi Bhajan's disciples will be doing these murti pujas. This needs to stop. Adorning the Gurdwara with Yogi Bhajan's Tantric photos and golden murtis of Siddhi Chand next to the SikhNet headquarters and the SikhNet Gurdwara. This is something that also needs to stop. So, Gurumustuk, in conclusion, I would like to tell you that we as Sikhs, regular Sikhs, have no illusions that this will be easy, nor will it happen overnight, nor perhaps anytime soon. But we are not going to go away. We too have dedicated our lives to Sikhi, and it wounds us deeply to see our beautiful path being warped and twisted. We'll be watching and we'll be reminding you of how our beloved Guru Saban told us to live our lives. How you react to this is, of course, your choice. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.